I'd like to welcome you all to Working with Portraits webinar designed to support the Memory Book online yearbook program. Our goal this afternoon will be to focus on functions of the program associated with student portraits. Specifically, we will be reviewing printing class sheets for other teachers or parents to review and correct, strategies for detailing duplicate images, correcting student names, categorizing students, and using the flow function to create portrait pages. This webinar will be approximately 30 minutes, so let's get started. So as you can see right here, I am on my front page. Most of you have the same portal. You will have like a countdown clock, the number of pages, all this other pertinent information right on the beginning. So let's look at how to print sheets for your teachers, for your parents, or for any other staff member that may be helping you today. So we're going to go over to Create, and we're going to go down to our image library. And we're going to click OK right here, and we're going to go to our portrait. Our portrait's right here. There's a little arrow. We're going to click down, and we're going to jump onto our first class right here. And right here we have our student images already loaded on there and ready to go. So we need to print this off for our teachers or staff member or whoever else may be helping us with these pages. So we're going to come over here to this word right here, preview. As you can see, if we hover over it, a drop-down menu comes down, says preview the selected categories, images as in a PDF. So if we click that, another window opens up, and right here we can print a PDF or print a sheet with the children's images and their names underneath it. And then from right here, you can hand this out to whoever needs it so they can go through and look and say, yep, that is the correct student and that is their correct name, or no, that's not, and put their correct information underneath it.
Well, you could do that too, but no, what I was saying in your current 2022
Next,
the templates that
we're going to talk about coverage report. We're going to go up to create here. We're going to go down to coverage report. And what coverage report provides is a list of everybody who has been tagged. It is everybody who has a name next to their portrait. So all these pictures that are in my image library have a name. And then from here, what you can do is you can either sort by last name, first name, grade, homeroom, or anywhere else. Right here we have times in block. So as you can see, we have a 1 here next to this teacher. This teacher has been used at least one time in the yearbook. And this helps keep track to make sure that you have used each portrait or each image that's on the list. Helps you keep track of how many times that photo is in there. Also, we have a way you can import a list from last year, export, merge duplicates. If you click on merge duplicates, here we have a list of different students who have duplicate names. Now, one thing you want to be careful is we have right here Brown Jeff. We have a Brown Jeff and we have a Brown Jeffrey. So be very careful if you want to merge students, because you may have some right here with Jeff and Jeffrey. So it may be the same student spelled differently. Then if you want to merge, click here, merge, and then you can apply changes right down here. Here, once you get that list back and you have sorted by homeroom, teacher, then you can come over here and you can actually edit names right here. So if you see like Emily right here, you can see the Emily's in Howard's room, but she doesn't spell it with a Y. She spells it with a I-E. So then when we go back to our image library, we go down to Howard, and then we're going to see that Emily is now with an IE. Okay. And we're going to talk about what I just did here in just a minute too. So now we're going to look at the light table a little bit easier than what we just did with the coverage report. So looking right here, we have a student that does not have a name. Hasn't been tagged or was an image that was given to us late. Whatever it may be, they don't have a name. So when we hover over it, you're going to see a little blue dot that appears right here. And it appears right here on every single one. We're going to click on View Image Details. And it comes up. This red box right here, it just recognizes that this is a face. So anytime we upload an image with this person's potential face, it will tag that photo with this person's name. It's saying that it kind of looks like that person, so they went ahead and tagged it. So to get a name on here, we're going to come up here, we're going to hit add, and we're going to go to first name and then last name. From here, you can always put grade level, student ID, homeroom, whatever. And we're going to hit save. She now has a name, and we're going to hit done. You notice that our image was right here, the very first image, and now it's all the way down here. And that's because this area right here sorts images alphabetically. So if you make a change, it will sort that photo accordingly. Now, if we have a student that has that shouldn't be in this class, we got this smiley face. This individual shouldn't be in our class at all. What we're going to do is we're going to move this student. So we're going to click and hold this student, and we're going to move them over to Erickson's classroom. And then as you can see, as it's highlighted right here, where his little thumb is, you can see the word move, and that lets you know that you can safely move that photo into that classroom. So we're going to let go. That photo has disappeared from our list right here, and it's in Erickson's classroom right here. Now we have a student that's name may be on the list, but there's no photo. So we're going to come over here to no photo. We're just going to select the very first one. We're going to move this one up over to his classroom. Go right here. Click on the little blue dot there. We're going to come here and edit and hit continue. And we're going to edit this person. And we're just going to add their name right here. Hit save. Hit done. And there we go. So this person, this kiddo now has the name and has their photo, and that's going to help us flow. All right, so now we're going to actually go down, and we're actually going to start flowing students. So we're going to come up here to Plan, Page Ladder, and we're going to go to the very first page. So right here is the page that most of you have been working on or starting to work on. And we're going to move over here what's called a flow element. So first we need to go to the correct tab. So we're going to go all the way down here to the left to flow. On this flow tab we have 6 little elements right here. And what it is the box with the name, the white square is the picture, the dark little rectangles, those are where the names are going to be. So right here you can see the photo is going to be right here with the name on top. If you don't like that, you can always delete it. Drag one over with the traditional one with the photo and the name to the side of it. In this case, the left side. You can also bring another one over here. Well, look at that. I brought the wrong one over. Well, that's easily fixed. And we'll get to that. So with this one selected, you'll see that it has a yellow dotted line all the way around it. This is how you know it's a flow element and you can flow pictures into it. We'll get to templates here in a minute. Now, you don't have to keep the regular old square with the names. As you see, when I clicked on the photos, this little toolbar right appeared. Here we have different fonts, so we can always change the fonts of the names to any design that we want, any style that we want, and even the font size. So if you think the fonts are a little too small, you can bump them up. Now here we run to our first issue, the red X. The red X simply just means that the names or the text in there is larger than the box provided. If we want to lower that down a little bit, we can always click right next to the 10. We'll get to that here in just a minute. Somebody asked, how do I make the teacher? We'll get to that. So here we're going to highlight the 10. We're going to push 9, hit enter, and see the red area disappeared. That means that the names will fit the given area right here. Next, we want, I want a nice little border around these names, around the pictures and other things. So we're going to come up here to stroke style, and we're going to hit a solid line. And as you can see, I'll zoom in just here in just a minute. We have a nice little solid line around the photos. But I want to change the color of those. So we're going to come over here to color. We're going to come over here next to the A, shape color, right over here to stroke. And then we can always change it to orange. Same thing, shape color, stroke. And we can change it to yellow or whatever color you want. If you want a little bigger box, you can always change it to a 2, or a little smaller box, you can always change that. Of course, here's the bold, italic, underline for your text. Next one is the flow options. Right here is where you can change the number of rows and number of columns. So let's go back to the full page here. That will help you out. So to bring this out, little tip here, this little thumbtack, if you click it, you can always move this box. So that way you can see both pages. So for this one, let's say we need 2 less rows. So just click 2 less. And if you see it's stretching right here, all we have to do is come over to the height. And then make it a little bit shorter. Next one is the spacing. That's the spacing between the photos on here. Honestly, I would leave the spacing alone. Right here we have portrait shape. We can change them to circles if we want, pentagons, and octagons, or we can just leave them as regular squares. Rounded corners, you could actually round the corner just a little bit, so you don't have to leave them as solid squares. Next, we're going to look at this page. Remember how I said the names are on the wrong side? Well, we can easily fix that without having just to delete and bring over and all that. In our flow options, we can come down to name options. Name options left horizontal. We want right horizontal, and it flips the pages right there. Now, next is the expand flow. I would stay away from this unless you absolutely have to change everything. You click understand, and what this does is by hitting expand, it now changes you can see it changed the look of the box. These are now individual boxes that you can drop images to. The text is individual versus the solid right here. And the reason why we would want you to leave this is these images can now be moved. So if you move and then realize, oh no, how do I get all these back? And you're trying to get these back it might be a little tough. That's why we say to leave it like this, because it's easier to move this around than it is to try to highlight and try to move this around. Now we're going to now we're going to start flowing. Now that we got all this set up and ready to go right here, can the names be underneath the picture? Why, yes. We go under name options right here. Names vertical. Names below. Now you're looking right here. Wait a minute. The names aren't right there. So we come back up here to spacing. Change the vertical space, and there's the names. And if you don't want to do that, you can come over here and drag and drop your names right here. All right, so now let's flow in a class. So now that we have our template right here, we're going to choose a category. We're going to choose Mr. Atkins class, first and last. That's how the names will appear. First name first, last name last. You guys choose last name first or first name last. We have 45 images, 0 have flowed, 45 images remains. The start is the start of the page, in this case, page 2. So we want that to say page 2, and we want to stop on page 2. All right, we're going to come up here, we're going to hit save, and save everything. You'll notice right above it, it says 0 positions, now it says 56 positions. That's after we saved it. Okay, click on this, and we're going to come down to this flow button, this little green button that says flow. And just like that, our images are in there. One thing you can do, if you want, you'll see that there's this blank space right underneath the photos between this bottom square and this kid right here. So we can reset. Click on this. Click on the flow options. We want one less row. So now we have one less row. We got rid of that. We can also decrease the height. And then come back over here to flow. Would you like to save? Yes. And there we go. Now we can actually move that down just a little bit. Now, oh no, look at that. Okay, we got some issues with this photo. So first issue is that teacher is supposed to be first, not over here. I got 2 of the same kids here. I got 2 of the same kids here. and I have a before and after. These are okay. Okay, we can fix this. We can fix this. So we're going to reset these photos. We're going to come back over here to create image library. And we're going to look at these photos again. Let's look at this teacher first, because the teacher was supposed to be first, not the student. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go over details. And there's the, let's see, caption. He's a teacher. We're going to use his portrait. Here we go. Type. Student. It's not a student. He's a teacher. So we're going to select him as a teacher. Apply changes. And click done. All right, and then here we have duplicate images of this kiddo, so we're not going to use this one. We're going to come up to details. Use portrait. We're going to click this, and we're going to say don't use portrait. Apply changes, and click done. All right. Then next we have the duplicate images here, but as we see, these are twins, so these two images are fine. Then if we have two images right here that are a retake, if one's the original and one's a retake, so all we have to do is same thing. Click details, don't use portrait, apply changes, and done. So what this tells us, this tells the system not to use those photos. Do not flow these images in. So we're going to come back to plan,
there's another
page ladder.
right there. A lot of times when you cut and paste things,
We're going to come back to the page.
cut an extra space, copy an extra space.
We're going to click on here again. We're going to make sure we have the right teacher. First, last, start on page 2, stop on page 2. All right, and we're going to hit flow. And there we go. We have the teacher as the first one. We have the duplicate image gone. We know these two were twins. And then we have the duplicate, the original and the retake picture gone right here. All right, so is there a way to move the teacher portrait from the classroom folder? See, from the classroom folder to the staff folder. Yes, there is. Sorry, I meant to say, how do I make the teacher picture bigger? We're gonna do that here. So what we could do, we're gonna reset. Go to create. Go to image library here. So what you're asking for is, if you do not want a teacher right here, for the sake of this, so I will forget to move this teacher back after this class because I have to teach it again. So I'm going to say don't use. So what you would do is you would click and hold if the teacher is in the class, click and hold, and then move it to a staff. For this, I'm going to turn that one off, go back to page ladder. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go down to right here. Let's get rid of him. So here's the class, and I'm going to set up the name, first name, and remember, the start and stop is on the page that you're on right now. So right now I'm on page 8, so I need to change this to page 8. Stop on page 8, hit flow. Would I like to save? Yes. All right, and then I'm going to come up to images. Then I'm going to click this drop down. I'm going to come to portrait. Then I'm going to come down to staff. I'm going to look over to see where the picture is of this particular teacher, if there is a staff. Well, you know what? This teacher just became the staff photo. So all I have to do is come over here and just click on her image, or click and hold and bring it over, or just simply click and it's right there. And when you delete a photo, you delete it, and this is the image box that it was contained in. So you just have to delete that again. So image, put that right there. And Just put it wherever you want. Then from there, you can always put a name block here. And then you can always put the teacher's name. Something like that. The template, this one is of my own creation. This background right here is not available. It's just something I've created, played around with. Okay. This one right here, this was just a simple flow element right here. To create this, all I did was just bring over a simple flow element, went to my flow options, deleted a cut 2 rows, made it just a little bit shorter and a little bit shorter, like this, and then just brought over an image of a teacher, and then just flowed in the class from there. So just whatever next class is. Oh yeah, 9, page 9. Right, and then just hit save, and then just hit flow, and that's all I did right there. Now we do have, and then next we could talk about templates. So right here, this is a template. All I had to do, and I'll go ahead and delete it. So all I had to do is go to designs, and under portraits right here, I have different styles right here. You can just go to all portraits, and you can just scroll down to whatever strikes you or says, hey, that looks good. You could do something like this, 7016. Click and hold, drag it over. Do you want to? Yep. And then there you go. Great thing about this template, you already have a float element right here. These little image boxes, you can drop images into them. So you have activity, anything. Well, I don't think I have. Okay. So if you have any photos right here, you can drag and drop. And then you can also come down here to flow. And that's page 1010. Yep, there we go. Do you want to save? Yep. And there you go. Oops, sorry. So there you go. So you can use different templates like this, flow the students in, put photos right here, big photo, little photo. This one has little quotes or anything that happened. You could kind of explain, well, this was on a field trip. Right. Oh, okay. We could self-make portraits right here. You can have a big portrait of a big class with a class photo, the teacher. Here's another for a freshman or whatever class. And now for some of you that have staff members, and you want to flow staff members into a page, if you have something, if you have someone who's like, if she's the principal and you want to make sure she's first in your staff page, just come over here. Instead of a student, call them a teacher and apply changes. If this is a vice principal, come over here. Instead of a student, hit assistant and apply changes. And then when it flows, those two will be in the correct order. So she will be first as the principal. She will be second as the vice principal. Okay, so any other questions? When do you add the titles to the... Oh, when do we add the titles to that one you have to add on your own. So let's go back to plan, page ladder, and let's go to this one right here. And in fact, nope, let's go to the very top one because there's something else I want to explain too. Before I forget, if you expand and you need extra boxes here, what you can do is you can double click on the portrait. They'll bring this up. These eyes can be turned, you can click them and it will actually turn those boxes off. So when you click to the side, you'll see these boxes are gone. To bring them back, just click on those eyes again and it brings them all back. And we're going to bring them all back. There we go. Then let's go down to flow and let's flow the staff in here so we can show you all the staff. So we want page 2, page 2. We're going to hit save. No, you don't want page 3. We want page 3. All right. And then we're going to hit flow. All right. I thought I had more people than that, but that's fine. Do I have everybody? Yeah, I do. Okay, there we go. No, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. So to add titles like that to other teachers, you probably, let's get rid of this one. I think the easiest one will probably be the names with the one with their names underneath it. That's why I forgot to fix that. So right here, we go to page 3, hit save, hit flow. Oh, come on. Well, now it's not being cooperative. You know what? Here, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so to add a title underneath it, what you need to do is click, come down here to expand flow, hit I understand, and expand. Then all you have to do, which will come over here to one of these, double click, and then you can always put fifth grade like that. So you can add the titles right here. You can always put like Title 1 teacher. How do we add names to pictures that are not pictured? Well, that's easy to do. But when you do, when you add titles like this, just be careful that you're not moving anything. If you do, there's an undo button right here under Create. So you can just hit the undo button and it will move the box back or move everything here. So real quick, we'll come back over here to Image Library. Come back here. So if you have a student that doesn't have a picture, you can come back here to No Photo. Add a no photo to a class. Come back over here. Here it is right here. We can click on this little blue dot. Hit edit. Right here. And we're going to call this one here, hit save, hit done, and then there we go. And then this no photo will appear when you go to flow this class.
Do you mind that I have my mic on to ask the question because it's kind of confusing? So we have quite a few students that did not take pictures. Is there a way that we could just have like a list of students that's already put in the system for the kids that are not pictured? Or do we just type it in a text box?
Yeah, you just type it in a text box.
Okay.
Yeah, just come back to image library right here, and then just take any of these no photos. That's why we provide that so many of them. Just for that. That way you can drag and drop, a certain design like this purple one into one class, this sign one to another class, hand one to another class. So. Okay. How do you add a text box to a new template you're creating? So that's easy to do. We come back over here to Page Ladder. So if we need a new text box, say for this teacher right here, we come over here. Right above flow is text. And then here are some of the text in the styles that we've already created. You just grab one, click and hold it and drag it over. And then you can always change the size of it, just the font size, and the font color. You can even put a box around it. That's not a bright color, so you can even put a box around the word if you want to. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, but we can still open it up to any questions. So I'm going to stop the recording. And it will be taken off a no photo student and then added. Yes. Yes, you can. So cancel. So if we're here to image, let's go to the image library. And let's go back to this class. Let's say you get an image and all right, and let's say this person right here is this person right here. So what you can do is simply just click on this, details, do not use, apply changes, done. And then whoever this person is, you could just come in and change the name if you wish. Then just hit save, done, and there you go. If you want to, you can also just delete the name altogether, hit done. And then that way, and then click and hold it, bring it back over to no photo, and then just move it that way. Are fonts locked? No. As the advisor, you can come over to fonts, to plan, click on fonts, and then here's all your fonts right here. And then just to activate it, all you have to do is just click here to activate it. And if you want to see what they look like, you just click on them. And there's a preview here off to the side. Shows you what it looks like. It's a large and then very small. Let's see. Can I put staff in any order, in any order one, or does it have to be if you flow, it flows alphabetically. If you want it in any other order, all you have to do is, all you have to do is, if you want to put it in your own order, just come down here and simply expand it, and then you have your own, and then you can just come back up to images, portrait, your staff, and then you can just put them in. You just put them in any order that you want. Yeah, thank you. So you can do it that way if you want to. Go back to the page that you added the text box at the top. Okay. So we go back to pages. All right. Let's see. Can you move the box to the bottom of the flow page, boxes, and use it to type in not pictured students in the list? Yes. Let's see. Next question. After I've filled my pictures and names are in the back, but the background is dark, can I change the color of the students' names? Well, yes, you can. So here is a very good, this is a very good one for you. So right here you see that the names are dark on a dark background. You're not going to be able to see them. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to flow. We're going to go to this class, and then we're going to have to reset the image. Click on here. Click on the flow element here. Come up to color and make sure it's on text color, fill color, and then you can change it to gold. There you go. There's the gold. There's a white color right there. There's another gold color. And then all you have to do is come back over to flow. Would you like to save? Yes. Then you can flow them back. Let's look back to fit page. And then there you go. So when we hit preview, and there we go. So there's what it will look like, the gold on the dark cover right there. Can you move that box to the bottom of the flow boxes and use it to type the not pictured student in a list? Yes. Could you also do the same thing by expanding the flow and then changing the font color? You could. You could easily do that. So let's see. Let's undo this. Oh, there's nothing to undo because I hit save. Okay, so we're going to go down to my history here. Nope. Undo. Wrong page. So yeah, let's go to this page. Let's do this here. So what I could do is I could select that, hit expand flow, and then change that color to gold. Change that color to this yellow. Oh, change that to gold. Change that to a yellow, and change that to a gold. So you can do different colors if you want to. It's one of those, your imagination's the limit. So yeah, if you want to change different colors, you can. So that makes it a little bit easier to find. Just remember now that once you expanded it, it's no longer a flow. So if something's messed up, you have to remove all these and then bring a flow element over and start over. So make sure you have everything exactly the way you want it before you hit flow. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, inquiries? I know you're teachers because you're not busy. All right. Hey, you're welcome. And if that's it, like I said before, the recording will go out probably tomorrow afternoon, so you can always review it during your very busy schedule, your busy 9 to 5 job. um, and so don't forget to sign up for any other webinars that you may have forgotten to, especially with how to set everything up so you can actually submit your book. All right. So I thank you very much. I thank you all for coming out. Then I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar. You all have a great day.